What's up, chat? Welcome back to another daily 1 year Bible stream. Not can you smell what the rock is cooking, but welcome back to another daily 1 year Bible stream on the channel. Today is gonna be day 207 in a row, coming from 7/25, 2025. Nice page flip. Today on day 207 in a row of our 1 year Bible read. We're gonna read from 2 Chronicles 14, 1 through 16, going through verse 14. We're going to follow it up with Romans 9, 1 through 24, and then Psalms 19, 1 through 14. And how we're going to wrap up tonight is with Proverbs 20 through verse 1. 20, verse 1. Okay, so without further ado, let's hop into 2 Chronicles. This is our 1 year Bible read for 365 days, and we're on day 207 right now. And 2 Chronicles 14, 1 through 14. So when Abijah died, he was buried in the city of David. Then his son Asa became the next king. There was peace in the land for 10 years, and Asa did what was pleasing and good in the sight of the Lord his God. He removed the foreign altars and the pagan shrines. He smashed the sacred pillars and cut down the Asherah poles. He commanded the people of Judah to seek the Lord, the God of their ancestors. Excuse me. Ancestors. And to obey his law and his commands. Asa also removed the pagan shrines as well as the incense altars from every one of Judah's towns. So Asa's kingdom enjoyed a period of peace. During those peaceful years, he was able to build up the fortified towns throughout Judah. No one tried to make war against him at this time, for the Lord was giving him rest from his enemies. Asa told the people of Judah, "Let us build towns and fortify them with walls, towers, gates, and bars. The land is still ours because we sought the Lord our God, and He has given us peace on every side." So they went ahead with these projects and brought them to completion. King Asa had an army of 300,000 warriors from the tribe of Judah, armed with large shields and spears. He also had an army of 280,000 warriors from the tribe of Benjamin, armed with small shields and bows. Both armies were composed of well-trained fighting men. Once, an Ethiopian named Zerah attacked Judah with an army of a million men and 300 chariots. They advanced to the town of Marishah, so Asa deployed his armies for battle in the valley north of Marishah. Then Asa cried out to the Lord his God, "O Lord, no one but you can help the powerless against the mighty. Help us, O Lord our God, for we trust in you alone. It is in your name that we have come against this vast horde. O Lord, you are our God. Do not let mere men prevail against you." So the Lord defeated the Ethiopians in the presence of Asa and the army of Judah, and the enemy fled. Asa and his army pursued them as far as Gerar, and so many Ethiopians fell that they were unable to rally. They were destroyed by the Lord and his army, and the army of Judah carried off a vast amount of plunder. Sorry, chat. For some reason, my nose is running. Very randomly. It's making it hard to read. While they were at Gerar, they attacked all the towns in the area, and the terror from the Lord came upon the people there. As a result, a vast amount of plunder was taken from these towns. They also attacked the camps of herdsmen and captured many sheep, goats, and camels before finally returning to Jerusalem. Then the Spirit of God came upon Azariah, son of Oded, and he went out to meet King Asa as he was returning from battle. "Listen to me, Asa," he shouted. "Listen, all you people of Judah and Benjamin. The Lord will stay with you as long as you stay with him. Whenever you seek him, you will find him. But if you abandon him, he will abandon you. But if you abandon him, he will abandon you. For a long time, Israel was without the true God, without a priest to teach them, and without the law to instruct them. But whenever they were in trouble and turned to the Lord, the God of Israel, and sought him, they found him. During those dark times, it was not safe to travel. Problems troubled the people of every land. Nation fought against nation, and city against city. For God was troubling them with every kind of problem. But as for you, be strong and courageous, for your work will be rewarded. When Asa heard this message from Azariah the prophet, he took courage and removed all the detestable idols from the land of Judah and Benjamin and in the towns he had captured in the hill country of Ephraim. And he repaired the altar of the Lord, which stood in front of the entry room of the Lord's temple. Then Asa called together all the people of Judah and Benjamin, along with the people of Ephraim, Manasseh, and Simeon, who had settled among them. For many from Israel had moved to Judah during Asa's reign, when they saw that the Lord his God was with him. The people gathered at Jerusalem in late spring, during the 15th year of Asa's reign. On that day they sacrificed to the Lord 700 cattle and 7,000 sheep and goats from the plunder they had taken in the battle. Then they entered into the covenant to seek the Lord, the God of their ancestors, with all their heart and soul. They agreed that anyone who refused to seek the Lord, the God of Israel, will be put to death, whether young or old, man or woman. They shouted out their oath of loyalty to the Lord with trumpets blaring and ram's horns sounding. All in Judah were happy about this covenant, for they had entered into it with all their heart. They earnestly sought after God, and they found him. And the Lord gave them rest from their enemies on every side. King Asa even disposed his grandmother Maacah from her position as queen mother because she had been an obscene Asherah pole. He cut down her obscene pole, broke it up, and burned it in the Kidron Valley. Although the pagan shrines were not removed from Israel, Asa's heart remained completely faithful throughout his life. He brought into the temple of God the silver and gold and the various items that he and his father had dedicated. So there was no more war until the 35th year of Asa's reign. In the 36th year of Asa's reign, King Baasha of Israel invaded Judah and fortified Ramah in order to prevent anyone from entering or leaving King Asa's territory in Judah. Asa responded by removing the silver and gold from the treasuries of the temple of the Lord in the royal palace. He sent it to King Ben-Hadad of Aram, who was ruling in Damascus, along with this message. Let there be a treaty between you and me, like the one between your father and my father. See, I am sending you silver and gold. Break a treaty with King Baasha of Israel, so that he will leave me alone. Ben-Hadad agreed to King Asa's request and sent the commanders of his army to attack the towns of Israel. They conquered the towns of Ijon, Dan, Abel Beth Makkah, and all the store cities in Naphtali. As soon as Baasha of Israel heard what was happening, he abandoned his project of fortifying Ramah and stopped all work on it. Then King Asa called out the men of Judah to carry away the building stones and timber that Baasha had been using to fortify Ramah. Asa used these materials to fortify the towns of Geba and Mizpah. At that time, Hanani the seer came to King Asa and told him, "Because you have put your trust in the king of Aram instead of in the Lord your God, you missed your chance to destroy the army of the king of Aram. Don't you remember what happened to the Ethiopians and the Libyans and their vast army, with all of the chariots and charioteers? At that time you relied on the Lord, and he handed them over to you. The eyes of the Lord search for the whole earth in order to strengthen those whose hearts are fully committed to him. What a fool you have been. From now on, you will be at war." Asa became so angry with Hanani for saying this that he threw him into a prison and put him into stocks. At that time, Asa began to oppress some of his people. The rest of the events of Asa's reign from the beginning to the end are recorded in the book of the kings of Judah and Israel. In the 39th year of his reign, Asa developed a serious foot disease. Yet even with the severity of his disease, he did not seek the Lord's help, but turned only to his physicians. So he died in his 41st year of his reign. He was buried in the tomb he had carved out for himself in the city of David. He was laid on a bed perfumed with sweet spices and fragrant ointments, and the people built a huge funeral fire in his honor. Chat, my legs hurt. Brief intermission. I've been standing up for the good part of the past 9 hours, and my shins hurt bad. But let's keep reading. Romans 9, 1-24. With Christ as my witness, I speak the utter truthfulness. My conscience and the Holy Spirit confirm it. My heart is filled with the bitter sorrow and unending grief for my people, my Jewish brothers and sisters. I will be willing to be forever cursed, cut off from Christ, if that will save them. They are the people of Israel, chosen to be God's adopted children. God revealed his glory to them. He made covenants with them and gave them his law. He gave them the privilege of worshiping him and receiving his wonderful promises. Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob are their ancestors, and Christ himself was an Israelite as far as his human nature is concerned. And he is God, the one who rules over everything and is worthy of eternal praise. Amen. Well then, has God failed to fulfill his promise to Israel? No, for not all who are born into the nation of Israel are truly members of God's people. Being descendants of Abraham doesn't make them truly Abraham's children. For the scriptures say, Isaac is a son through whom your descendants will be counted, although Abraham had other children too. This means that Abraham's physical descendants are not necessarily children of God. Only the children of the promise are considered to be Abraham's children. For God had promised, I will return about this time next year, and Sarah will have a son. This son was our ancestor Isaac. When he married Rebekah, she gave birth to twins. Before they were born, before they had done anything good or bad, she received a message from God. This message shows that God chooses people according to his own purposes. He calls people, but not according to their good or bad works. She was told, your older son will serve your younger son. In the words of the scriptures, I love Jacob, but I rejected Esau. Are we saying then that God was unfair? Of course not. For God said to Moses, I will show mercy to anyone I choose, and I will show compassion to anyone I choose. So it is God who decides to show mercy. We can neither choose it nor work for it. For the scriptures say that God told Pharaoh, I have appointed you for the very purpose of displaying my power in you and spread my fame throughout the earth. So you see, God chooses to show mercy to some, and he chooses to harden the hearts of others, so they refuse to listen. Well, then you might say, why does God blame people for not responding? Haven't they simply done what he makes them do? No, don't say that. Who are you, a mere human being, to argue with God? Should the thing that was created say to the one who created it, why have you made me like this? When a potter makes jars out of clay, does he have any right to use the same lump of clay to make one jar for decoration and another to throw garbage into? In the same way, even though God has the right to show his anger and his power, he is very patient with those of whom his anger falls, who are destined for destruction. He does this to make the riches of his glory shine even brighter on those in whom he shows mercy, who are prepared in advance for glory. And we are among those whom he selected, both from the Jews and from the Gentiles. And now Psalms 19, 1-14. That's funny. The heavens proclaim the glory of God. The skies display his craftsmanship. I'll be just fine. You know, it's just bodying. It's not really a big deal. The heavens proclaim the glory of God. The skies display his craftsmanship. Day after day they continue to speak. Night after night they make him known. They speak without the word or sound. Their voice is never heard. Yet their message has gone throughout the earth, and their words to all the world. God has made a home in the heavens for the sun. It bursts forth like a radiant bridegroom after his wedding. It rejoices like a great athlete eager to run the race. The sun rises at one end of the heavens and follows its course to the other end. Nothing can hide from his heat. The instructions of the Lord are perfect, reviving the soul. The decrees of the Lord are trustworthy, making wise the simple. The commandments of the Lord are right, bringing joy to the heart. The commandments of the Lord are clear, giving insight for living. Reverence for the Lord is pure, lasting forever. The laws of the Lord are true, each one is fair. They are more desirable than gold, even the finest gold. They are sweeter than honey, even honey driven from the comb. They are a warning to your servant, a good reward for those who obey them. How can I know all the sin is lurking in my heart? Cleanse me from these hidden faults. Keep your servant from deliberate sins. Don't let them control me. Then I will be guilt-free and innocent of great sin. May the words of my mouth and the meditation of my heart be pleasing to you, O Lord, my rock and my redeemer. And now Proverbs 21. Wine produces mockers. Alcohol leads to brawls. Those led astray by drink cannot be wise. And now, more God, less excess. More God, less excess. Moderate amounts of wine can have benefits for some people, but the author of this proverb isn't endorsing drunkenness or excessive drinking. Excessive drinking results in destructive progression. The man takes a drink, then the drink takes a drink, then the drink takes the man. Excess alcohol doesn't quench our thirst, it demands more. Excess food doesn't satisfy our appetite. Satisfaction for our souls is only found in more of God and nothing else. If we remove the excess from our lives, we make room for God to fill us. And now, Chad, I'm going to ask for clarity, wisdom, and discernment on today's word, and I'll be right back. Interesting looking haircut right now. And the one you Bobby stream is crazy. That's crazy skit. And the one you Bobby stream is crazy skit. Yeah, good night. I guess if you can read the chat. Hey, good night, bro. We're wrapping up here. Um, your boy had a long day. It's been a long day. Excuse me. So we're gonna go ahead and talk about today's read really quickly. 2 Chronicles 14:1 through 16. I honestly wouldn't go back and listen to this one. I was tearing this one up. I was tearing this one up. I was troubleshooting for 9 hours in a row today. Yeah, brain fried. It was hard to read. I'm not gonna lie, hard to read today, but it's okay. Um, let's talk about 2 Chronicles 14:1 through 16. Um, and here we talk about the importance on not becoming reliant on the world or not looking for the world for help. The world can offer you nothing but temporary satisfaction, right? Um, you know, I'm not telling people not to go to the hospital and stuff like that or whatever, but you know, me personally, me personally, if I'm going out, that just means it was my time to leave. That just means it was my time to leave. I'm not gonna lie. Um, yeah, in my mind, if I'm at the hospital, uh, I don't believe there's nothing they can do for me. I don't believe there's nothing they can do for me but give me some fluids or something, maybe, possibly. Because in my mind, um, if God was going to, if God wanted me to stay here, I wouldn't be sick. I wouldn't be sick. That's how I think. I'm not gonna lie. So whenever I get sick, I don't really take medicine. I'm not. This is not this. I'm not advocating this. This is just what I do, right? I don't really take medicine. You know, I just be like, God, gonna take care of this. I'd be like, God, gonna take care of this. I know that gets on my wife's nerves. I'm not gonna lie. I know she think I'm gonna die one day because I don't take care of myself. But you know, um, but all jokes aside, it's really, um, I really just do that because I do believe God is going to heal whatever's happening, or whatever is happening. I just kind of wait to get whatever or go wherever I need to go, you know, to take care of whatever I need to take care of. Um, you know, I was talking to my wife the other day, right? And um, I was like, recently, a lot recently, actually, right? I just been saying things that I'm looking for or that I need for something, and you know, somebody just show up with it, and somebody just be showing up with it, you know. Um, and we were just joking about that. It was funny, right? Um, but I do wholeheartedly believe that if if I ask God to take care of something and He send me in the direction to go to taking care of, then that's where I'm gonna go, right? But if God don't send me nowhere and He don't heal it, then I mean it's it. That means it's it. That means it's my time to go, and I'm gonna be at peace because it was my time to go, right? Um, you know, um, the only thing that I ever think about though is my peoples. If I ever left this place, I'd be so sad for my folks. Not even if. When I leave this place, I'm just gonna be thinking about my folks. Yeah. So that's the only reason why I do talk to God about it. Sometimes I'd be like, just let it go. Clock out. I'd be like, clock out. Just go ahead and go tell God I'm clocking out. I'm just joking. I'm just joking. That's funny. It's a joke. 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 But yeah, yeah. But back to the main point, right? Sometimes I get sidetracked. But from 2 Chronicles 14, 1 through 16, the message is really to not forget who your help comes from, right? To not reach out to the world for the help that you can only receive from God, right? Now, I'm not gonna lie, I don't agree with all these depictions of God in the Bible. I'm not gonna lie. You know, a lot of the times when I read the Bible, right, um, it be make it when I read the depiction of God that they have played, it seems like, right, I'd be like, this fella seems petty, right? And I know God not petty, right? I know God not petty. He don't care about stuff like that. God don't care about stuff like that, right? So I don't really sometimes I don't jive with the perception they paint God with the type with the words they use sometimes. Um, because I'm not gonna lie, bro comes off type petty a lot, like consistently, like consistently, right? And like, you know, as somebody that's talked to God, you know, in whatever form of God I've ever talked to, you know, God has never come off as as something that's petty, you know. God has never come off as something that's petty. Um, so a lot of times I don't really jive with the depiction that they place on God in here because, yeah, I feel like I make a lot of mistakes sometimes. I feel like I make a lot of mistakes sometimes, right? But I feel like, you know, I be I get forgiven a lot for a lot of the mistakes that I do make. And if and if God was as petty as they make him to seem sometimes in the Bible and I read through, I don't think he would forgive me as much as he does. You know? Because I've been petty before, right? I've been I've done petty things before in my life. I've had enough years to do something at least one time petty, right? But you know, This is not the same kind of energy. Like God don't give the same kind of energy as a, someone that comes off as petty in any way, right? So sometimes I kind of don't like how some of the things are laid out and how they read sometimes, um, because I don't think God's a petty God. I don't think God out there doing petty stuff, you know. Um, I think that's for a certain kind of people that do petty stuff, but I don't think that got nothing to do with God. So that kind of sometimes that throws me off when I'm reading. Just to be completely honest. I just don't like the way they try to. I don't like the way that sometimes they depict God as a petty individual, because that's God is not petty. What's up, Lil Water? Welcome back to the chat, bro. Um, because if God was as petty as it kind of seemed like, as if you read the Bible and you read straight from your intellect, from the intellect in your mind, right, you would quickly come to the perception that God is petty and you should probably be scared of him. Even though if you were reading purely through intellect and um, you'd probably be scared. You'd probably read the Bible and get scared of God. And I can definitely understand why some people wouldn't be scared of God if they read the Bible strictly through intellect, right? Um, but that's why I always tell people to talk to God for yourself, right? I feel like sometimes in some kind of literature gives God a false image, right? Tries to put a false image on God and tries to make God seem like something that God is not, right? And when God is everything, trying to make somebody seem like something that they're not is crazy, right? Um, and I don't know, bro. It just throws me. But I always say, and I'm always continue to say, always build your own relationship with God. Always go talk to God for yourself. Never rely on anybody to talk to God for you. Go talk to God for yourself. You know, and ask for clarity, wisdom, and discernment, so when you listen to God and God tell you everything that you need to do, um, yeah, that they only fear God. Like, you know, I respect God. I mean, people use the word fear as to replace the word respect, right? I respect God and I appreciate God, and people swap those two words for fear, and I don't like that at all. You know, I respect and I appreciate God because I'm blessed to be alive, and I'm blessed to have the things that I have. I'm blessed to be around the people that I'm able to be around. I'm blessed to have the experience the experience I get to have. So that makes me appreciative. It doesn't make me scared of them. It makes me appreciate them. You know, it makes me want to go to God for counsel because I know God can push me in the right direction. It makes me want to go talk to God about something because I know God not gonna push me in the wrong direction because I respect you. I respect what God says. I respect God, right? Um, I don't really like the connotation of the whole fear God thing, right? I respect God because God always pushes me in the right direction. I appreciate God because He always listened to my BS. you know, the I could have used a different word other than that, to be honest. But like the things that I whine about is not a big deal. You know, God don't judge me for those things, so I appreciate that. There were other words you can use other than fear, right? You know, and I don't like giving that kind of connotation to God at all whatsoever. Because why would I teach somebody to be scared of something that's trying to help them, right? And then people are gonna try to say, oh, there's a healthy level of fear. I don't care what you talking about, bro. There's no such thing as a healthy level of fear. No such thing. You respect the things around you because you know that they could body you. That's respect. It's not fear. When you go to a lion in the jungle, you respect that lion in the jungle because you know he gonna body you if you ain't got no weapons. You know. I appreciate your game, brother, because I know in this area of expertise, you got me. I noticed in this area of expertise, I ain't winning this 1v1. you know? Oh man. So like there's plenty of other words to use. Um, and since I just don't like that connotation. I don't like that type of verbiage. I don't like the connotation. I just use other words, to be completely honest. And I have no idea what's the obsession with fear in people in fear, um, because it never does anything positive. So why would I connotate God with fear if I believe that fear never does anything positive? You know, that would if I'm connotating God to fear and saying I fear God, then and if I believe that fear is not positive, then I'm saying that God is not positive, and that's not the truth. That's not what I'm saying. you know, um, but it's healthy to have it's healthy to have respect. It's healthy to appreciate. You know, um, it's healthy to have a genuine feeling of love. Um, so I'm gonna go with that stuff rather than other stuff. Other stuff is outdated. It's old verbiage. I don't like it. So I moved on. You know, I moved on. but you know, I don't know. That was a long tangent, but I mean, it's just you could swap it out with something else, right? I just don't care for that verbiage, um, especially when I have my own definition of fear. And since I'm not going to put that on God because I don't want to give that God a kind of label with myself because I know what that would do with me internally, um, I choose to use different words. And it's just really just that simple. I use different words because I want to have a positive relationship with God, you know? So, but let's hop into Romans 9 1 through 24. And this is exactly what I was just talking about. So I'm going to circle it, right? This is exactly what I was just talking about. So this is why I say God is not petty, right? God said, right? For God said to Moses, "I will show mercy to anyone I choose, and I will show compassion to anyone I choose." Um, so now, as we talked about before, God has no respect to person, right? God will bless anybody. God will be there for anybody, right? Um, and you know, that's really just the end of that. I don't believe God is a petty God who's going to tell you who's going to condemn somebody to destruction before they're even born, or um, not give somebody a fighting chance, right? Um, I don't believe God moves like that. I believe people move like that. I believe people move like that. Yeah, definitely. But I don't believe God moves like that. So, you know, I feel like God really just does not respect the accolades, the things you do down here. They don't really matter that much, right? As long as you're, doing the real good things, the real right things down here, then that's the things that God really care about, right? The accolades and stuff, that stuff stay here and it decay here, you know. Um, but the true work, that's why God says, I bless my folks because they doing true work, you know. Um, something that's gonna last is not gonna decay, you know. The boys just came downstairs. just like earlier, bro. It's just really just as simple. God will bless anybody. It don't really matter who you are, what you done, where you came from, what situation you're in right now, what situation you might be in tomorrow, what situation you are in your mind right now. If you're living in the past, God could bring you from the past, put you in the present. You know, it's just good a relationship. The fault in all the stories and all the people, and this is what kind of works my nerves a little bit. Um, the fault with all the people was they all had great relationships with God, and then they fall off. Like every person ever, like every person ever, right? Um, and then they come back to God, right? So if God was really as petty as uh, as it sometimes makes it seem like He is, you won't be able to come back to God, right? Um, so I choose to talk more about God's patience, God's grace, because those are the things. If you really look at it, those are the things that are exemplified in everything we read. Um, God's ability to help anybody, you know, God's ability to pull anybody out of the dumps, move anybody forward, change anybody's life, put anybody anybody on the mountaintop, right? Um, and all you gotta do is build a relationship. I just like really just like I just want to talk to you, my son or my daughter. I just really just want to build a relationship with you. I want us to be tight like these. I want us to be tight like these, you know. Um, I really want us to be best friends like these. Um, I really just want to be homies like these, you know. Uh, you know, that I want you to enjoy your life, but I also don't want, but I also want you to remember I'm always here to help you, right? Um, and while we have definitely seen periods of times in our read so far, right, where guys depicted as getting angry with somebody who uh, forgot him, right? Um, or the guy has looks out so much for, and then they turn around and act like he didn't do nothing for them, right? Um, but even in those cases, like, are we sure that's not a human's perception? That's not a human's perception. Put in a perception on God, because does it not sound very human? Does it not sound very human of God to get upset about small things? So that does it not sound like somebody else put their own perception in here, you know? But that's why I always ask for wisdom, clarity, and discernment on the word. Honestly, tremendously slowed down. Not really slowed down, but collected my thoughts. It's it's really helped me collect my thoughts a lot recently. It's really helped me collect my thoughts a lot recently. Not over emotionalize my thoughts. Um, Speak it like it is. Not try to sugarcoat it. Not try to hurt nobody though, but not try to sugarcoat it and share it for what it is. God is a good God who looks out for everybody. All you gotta do is build a relationship with Him and keep building it. And the only condemnation you experience in your life is yourself. Is yourself. And I can't stand the constant depictions, the constant depictions of a person condemning themselves that we read about here as we've been reading through the Bible, as these own people that condemning them own selves, based on their own conscience, their own choices, right? And then showing it as God being angry at them for something. No, God wasn't angry at them for something. They were angry at themselves for making those decisions. That is not God getting mad at them and taking everything away from them. That's them taking everything away from themselves. They doing that to themselves. That's not God. And I don't like that depiction. I don't like reading it. I've said it several times. Because it's not God. That's the person. That's the person who doesn't know who to blame for their actions, so they blame God for it. Just like God said, I will show mercy to anyone I choose. Build a relationship with God and get the mercy. Get the mercy. And now Proverbs 21. Wine produces mockers, alcohol leads to brawls. Those who led astray by drink cannot be wise. You know, um, it can lead to the spirit being to the spirit being wound up, explosive, and a lack of self-control, right? And it's just trying to this message is here is only to lead us away from that place, right? Um, the place, uh, you know, where the rage can live, where um, we fall to our inhibitions, um, where we lack self-restraint, you know, um, where every vice takes over our life. God wants us to stay away from those places because God knows what that's going to bring us. And just like I said before, God is a good God. You know, He don't want to put more on you than you're able to bear, right? So He's like, hey, I'm looking out for you. Hey, I ain't say you can't enjoy a little bit, but monitor yourself. Be responsible. Don't go too far. You know, enjoy yourself, but enjoy yourself responsibly. You know, have fun, enjoy your life, but don't try to tear nobody else's life up in the process, right? So, in, in order to not do that, be a little more responsible. You know, take care of yourself a little bit better. And if you need help, come talk to me. Not me. I'm talking about God. You know, don't come talk to me. I'm liable to not respond. I'm liable to not respond. I'm just gonna keep it hot. Ask anybody on my phone. I'm liable to not respond. you know. Um, so let's find solace in God today. Let's find peace in God today. Let's not even find. Let's be peaceful with God. Let's be peaceful with God. It's already there. It's already happened. You just got to claim it as though it is. God said it. Speak it as though it is. Speak it as though it is. You know? Claim it as though it is. Y'all want to find all this wisdom in all these other places? Man, the wisdom is right here. I mean, there might be some fluff in here. Not gonna lie. There might be some fluff in here. Not gonna lie. Definitely fluff in here. Not gonna lie. It's a little excessive. No disrespect. But it's definitely some fluff in here. But respect regardless, you know? Maybe the fluff keeps the people with short attention spans away. Maybe my attention span is short. We have no idea. But you know, I got all them books on my shelf back there. You know what every one of them books say? You know what every one of them books say? The same thing this one book say. Every one of those books say the same thing this one book say. That's like $300 worth of books on my shelf. And every one of those books say the same thing this book say right here. Every single one of them books say the same thing this book say right here. No matter what it is, metaphysical world you do believe that you're playing a part of, every single one of those little books, every single one of the books that you read, they came from one place. They all got the same information in them. But only one of them got the wisdom. You know? What's up, baby? You gonna come down here? What's up, Ash? And honestly, that's where we're gonna end today's read. I think I'm gonna have like more like late nights with Limitless. I know I said it a while ago. I haven't really done one in a while. But I think I'm gonna do more late nights with Limitless. You know? Well, where I just yap and I read chat and we just spend time and hang out. I think I'm gonna do those actually more often. Yeah, for sure. But it's been a long day, chat. I'm not gonna lie. It's been a long day. I didn't get off work till like almost 8 o'clock. And 9 of those hours, I was on one call. Oh, that's tough. Oh, that's tough. I didn't break out until I was like 24. That's when I got my first acne when I was like 24 years old. I'm sleepy, chat. Not gonna lie. Not even sleepy. My legs tired. I need to sit down. I'm standing at my standing desk right now. My legs are tired, bro. Oh, oh man. What if I was this tall? I feel pretty tall right now. Maybe I think I'm like 6'1" right now. No, I think I'm like 6'1" right now. I'm finna close this chat. I don't even know what's going on, bro. I'm getting delirious. Um, I don't even know. We out of here, bro. We're gonna Limitless Court, baby. I appreciate you. I might even love you, but I'm for sure glad you woke up today. Thank you for spending your precious presence with me. I always appreciate that. And I'm gonna see y'all next time. I'm out of here. I'm out of here, man. So I had to wear a full face of makeup. Oh, well, I hope you enjoyed your day. Hope you enjoyed your day. Um, and I'm gonna see you next time. Peace. I'm tired. I'm tired, boss. I'm not though. I'm not even. I'm not. I promise I won't even go to sleep till 12. I'm tired. I'm tired right now, but I won't even fall asleep till 12 o'clock at the earliest. So like, this is crazy. I be fake sleepy. It's ridiculous. Like, who get fake sleepy? See you later.